Good afternoon. Good afternoon, all of us. Confirm if Mwalimu is audible.
Good afternoon.
Great. That is to say, Mwalimu is very, very audible. So a moment here, we are starting. Great. I hope all of us here are well, and confirm if Mwalimu is audible. Just a thumbs up if Mwalimu is audible. I need that thumbs up to see if Mwalimu is audible. If at all you're getting Mwalimu, just a quick thumbs up. Great. That's saying Mwalimu is very audible. So welcome to this open forum. For those who don't know Mwalimu, my name is CPA Aringo Frederick, and I normally assist you guys to prepare and also some other skills in accounting and finance. And this being an open forum, I want us to be very open to each other. I want us to be very frank to each other, because it is a session that I know right now you're looking at almost 3 weeks to be precise. Na hii ndio ile time watu wengine wanataka kuanza kusoma, right? You've not been studying the whole semester, and is when you're saying like now the gear has been engaged. So you want to start, of course, doing your studies. So I want us to be very free. I want us to open up, and what Mwalimu will be doing today, of course, I'll be sharing based on my experience. I'll be sharing, of course, the tips, how you're supposed to prepare even within the shortest period of time. In this case, we'll also be looking at the best strategies that you should be able to apply in given specific areas in terms of how the structure is of Kasneb and the best way literally that you need to prepare when it comes to your exams. So let us start by all of us who have joined. I believe that all of us, you're doing exams this December. That is my belief, that those who have joined us, all of us, you're doing exams this December. So I'll start by the mistake. Mistake that a lot of students, they normally tend to make, and I've seen it happening, and at times it is messing a lot of students unknowingly, to the point that you'll be like, my village people, however, that CPA, like, you're doing CPA almost for the fourth time, to the point that you're like, my village people have decided, there's some elders who have sat down somewhere in the village, and they're like, you're not going to the next level, so it is not the village people. Probably these are some of the mistakes that you normally tend to make unknowingly. So these are some of the areas that I want us to discuss, and let us start with the mistakes that a lot of students, they normally tend to make unknowingly. As I've said, the forum is very open. When you feel like you're having a question, kindly you can just unmute, you ask a question, then I'll clarify whatever that you've asked. So one big mistake is students who normally use revision kits. I'm going to explain. Even in discussion groups, you find that it's good to use revision kits, but the way a lot of students normally tend to use revision kits, they normally use revision kits in a wrong way. Let me explain this. You see, the reason why the answers on revision kits, why are they normally called suggested solutions? Yeah, they are always, each and every revision kit, the solutions provided, you'll always find that they are called what? Suggested solutions. They are not absolute. The reason why they are called what? Suggested solutions, meaning that there are other ways that a particular question can be solved. So Kasneb has 3 sets of papers. It has theory papers, it has quantitative papers, and it has statement papers. These are 3 sets: theory, quantitative, and statements. The error or the mistake with revision kits cuts across all through these 3 sets of papers. So you're doing a paper, or rather you're doing a question. This question probably, you're having this remaining period of time. You're doing a question and you feel like the question is somehow difficult. Either you're doing it alone or you're in a group discussing. So doing this question, you're like, I'm finding it difficult to handle this question. Your mind will tell you that you have a revision, you have solutions, yeah? Either below the question or at the back of your book. Your mind will tell you that you're having what? You're having revision, or rather you're having the solutions to this question. So straight away, you'll jump to the solutions. You're handling a question probably somehow difficult, then you rush through the solution. My good students, to be honest with you, what you're doing, you're not studying or you're not revising. You're literally cramming. In a sense that same question with a little twist. So you find that that question with a little twist, you're not going to handle anything, or you'll be like you're answering, but trying to remember what you did earlier, or rather what you studied earlier. So purely, that is purely cramming. And in this case, you'll find that have you ever been in a position whereby in class, Molimu is doing a very complicated question. This question seems to be very simple when you're doing the question, yeah? In class, Molimu is there on the board, Molimu is working out this question. The question seems to be very, very simple. But when you're given the same question, same question, doing it on your own, nile point sasa wanasema nini? Akili inatolewa, inawekwa nje, kichwa inabaki hivyo. Yeah? So you see, like, it is not a mistake, because in this case, when you're doing with Mwalimu, of course, they are sharing the concept clearly, you're sorting it out. So having or doing that question alone, it is a point that you know if at all you grasp the concept right or not. So in your end, you go to basically the solutions of the revision kit. That is a mess that a lot of students, they normally tend to make unconsciously. A lot. So you'll find that the first paper you've done, you've not passed. The second time you're doing the paper, you're not passing. The third time you're doing the paper, you're not passing. Then you're like, what is happening with me? Yeah? Are the elders have sat somewhere, they have decided that I'm not moving to the next level. So what is the best way? The best way when you're doing your revisions during this remaining time, yeah? The best way would be when you're handling a question, you feel like you're having a challenge. Don't rush to the solutions directly. What you need to do is to go to the notes that you have and at least be sure that you're having updated and you're having good notes. Go to the notes, respective of the lecturer who is teaching you. Of course, all lecturers are professionals, they are provided you with good notes. So go to the notes that you've been given. Try to get the solutions from the notes and not on the revision kit. So that once you're done with the notes, you know how this will help you. You'll not only be handling that question, but you'll be handling the whole concept. Assuming maybe you kindly make sure that you're muted unless you're having something to ask. Yeah, let us be respectful. If at all don't have anything to ask, just mute. But all you're not having something to ask, just mute, yeah? Respectfully. So you're saying that what you'll be doing in this case, going through what you've done on class or notes, you'll find that your task will be very easy because you'll not be handling the question only, but rather you'll be handling the whole concept. You'll be handling the whole concept that you're dealing with. So by the time you're through that one question, you might have handled a concept of almost like three to four questions. So doing that, you'll find that you get the knowledge right. But that mistake that you are referring to, of course, the solutions that have been provided, that is a mistake that a lot of students normally tend to make. So at what point should I need a revision kit? Let revision kit be there as a point of comparison and not reference. Let revision kit be there as a point of comparison, not point of reference. So that whatever that you've done, you can literally compare with what has been provided on the revision kit. The reason why we're terming them as what? Suggested solutions. So number one, avoid that mistake. And you'll see a lot of difference, more so for those students who normally tend to do a paper so many times. So take that note, and I'm very sure it will help us a lot. The second case is for the opening stocks. Yeah? It's for the opening stocks. Yeah? So when I'm talking about opening stocks, these are students who are doing this paper maybe for, they're not doing it for the first time. You did some times back, probably things went the way it went, and you're redoing the paper. One mistake with my good students for opening stocks will always be like, you go into that semester with this mentality. You'll go to that semester with the mentality that you did this paper before. So maybe you're doing FM didn't go well, or maybe you're doing a May, it didn't go well. So while going through the semester, I know we are all human beings, and I know, of course, you must feel like you must feel bad, right? But it is always a weapon to fight that feeling as soon as you can. So whenever you're approaching a paper, during revision, during coursework, whenever you're approaching a paper that you're doing it for the second time or third time, approach this paper with a mind that you are a new student to that paper. The reason why you're going to fail that paper again, if you go the mentality that this paper I did it before, there's a very high probability that you're going to overlook a lot of things. So to avoid overlooking a lot of things, what you need to do, try as much as possible, to approach this paper as if you're doing it for the first time. It will help you a lot. That's only I can tell you for sure. It will help you a lot. If in this case you're doing this paper for the first time, then the other mistake that you should not make if at all you're doing a paper for the second time is that you'll be like, I have the notes for last semester, so I'm going to use the same notes this semester. As human beings, the notes that you're used to, you can literally say what is going to, what is the next page. You are literally you're familiarized with the notes that you're using. So the best way, in this case, I know it is always hard, but it is always the best way that will always help you. The notes that you're using previous semester, you're doing this paper for the second time, third time, or even fourth time. The notes that you're using for the previous semester, you put them aside. Put them aside, start with new notes. Whether you're attending class, whether you're doing your personal studies, whether you're following the videos just on YouTube for free, whichever mode that you're using to study, just put the notes that you're using earlier on and start afresh. This will help you to avoid to overlook a lot of things. And by the end, probably you are going through the semester, you'll be like, aha, now I'm feeling like refreshing. I'm literally a new person on this paper. In that case, you never regret. You will never regret. That paper that you've done now for the fourth time you're doing, or that leadership and management that you're doing for the for the fifth time, yeah, you're doing that leadership for the fourth time. Kindly avoid that avoid that mistake, and you're going to see a lot of difference. So these are the mistake that majority of the students they normally tend to make unconsciously. So try correct this, and you're going to see a lot of difference. Now, before we jump to the next segment, which I want to talk about the structure of the papers, the floor is open to any question. Anyone who will feel like or not Mwalimu has guided us on the mistake that we normally tend to do. First of all, if you're a victim, I need to see a hands up. If you're a victim of these two mistakes that Mwalimu has talked about, I need to see the hands raised. Yeah? Right? If you're a victim of these two mistakes that Mwalimu has shared, just raise your hand. This just motivates the rest, or just a thumbs up. Yeah? If at all you're a victim of these two mistakes, the mistake of using revision kits and not knowing how to use the revision kits, and the mistake of approaching the paper for the second time, third time, and fourth time, as if like you're used to the paper. If at all you're a victim, I need that thumbs up. Yeah? So at this point, any question, and kindly unmute, you ask a question. If at all you're going to chat, there's a high chance I'm not going to see. So if you're having a question, respectfully, you can unmute, you ask Mwalimu a question, I guide you on the next case. Any question up to that point? Any question up to that point? Kindly unmute, then you ask. Where I am, there's a very high chance if at all you text, I might not see whatever that you texted. Any question? The floor is open. We've said like we should be very open. The floor is open. If at all you're having any question, this is the best time to ask. If at all you're having any question, this is the best time to ask. I've given you permission, you can unmute. I've given you permission, you can unmute. I've given you permission, you can unmute. If at all you're having any question, this is the best time to ask. Okay, seems you're okay. Or maybe someone is raising a hand. Let's go ahead. Dorothy.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Me, I'm having a problem kulingana na wakati. The time duration. At times, always we're given 3 hours to sit for the exams. And maybe the questions might be very easy, but you fail to understand the reason as to why
we're losing you, Dorothy.
Manage within the time.
Okay, great. Good question.
This is when the supervisor will be telling you.
Dorothy, we are losing you, but I've gotten your question about the time. These are amongst what we are going to talk about the next phase. So time factor, of course, that's a very important concern, which I'm going to raise it. It is amongst, of course, our the items in tray that you're going to share. Good one, Dorothy. I'm going to mention about that. I'm going to mention about that. Any other question? Dorothy, that is amongst in our tray. Any other question? Who was probably another question that we want to ask? Unfortunately, if I told you text, I might not get to see the question on chat, but I'll try. I don't have my glasses now. Okay, so I'll assign one person. One person will be collecting the questions that are being asked on the chat. Then you're going to ask Mwalimu at once. Kindly, I'll select one person or any volunteer can pick the questions to the chat. Then you're going to raise it up. But I've seen some questions in the chat which I'm going to address. Yeah, that is some that we're going to address. So now we go to this second phase of and it is in line with the question that Dorothy was asking. So when you started, Mwalimu was talked about 3 sets of papers that you normally tend to have. At this point, we usually talk about the theory papers. We have the statement papers, and we have the quantitative papers. So the strategy for when you're about theories, of course, theories are direct. Communication, talk about entrepreneurship, talk about aspects to do with auditing and assurance, company law, leadership and management, auditing, advanced. These are theory part. Quantitative part, quantitative papers, we talk about QA, we talk about FM, we talk about MA, we talk about advanced management accounting. These are for CPA, right? And of course, also in ATD, we have business mathematics. These are literally the quantitative papers. We have the statement papers. The statement papers, we read about which are the easiest by the way to pass. We read about financial accounting, financial reporting. We read about advanced financial reporting. We read about tax, both public finance and advanced taxation as well. So let me start with the theory. First of all, let us start with the strategy, the best strategies to handle theory part. Theory, unfortunately, a lot of students, they normally tend to do what? They normally tend to downgrade the theory papers. In a sense that, this is just theory. Uliza ule wa company domo mwenye amefanya hiyo paper for 4 times. Ask that person for leadership and management. This is only paper that is remaining advanced level, and he has done this or she has done this paper for so many times. So, what is the mistake that a lot of students normally tend to make in theory? This applies to all the theories, by the way, including also the theories in these computation papers. One mistake that you can do in theory is that you're asked a question. Say maybe you're asked of the advantages of technology in taxation. Haya, wewe hapo, you want to start with paragraphs. You want to start giving us paragraphs. To be sincere with you, as much as I wish to go through whatever that you've written in paragraph, there's no time. Given the deadline for clearing the papers to be marked and the results to be released, what you need to do is to create a good impression to the person who is marking your paper. These guys are also human beings. They do have their own issues at home. They do have their own issues in their day-to-day lives. So, regardless of the issue that I'm having, regardless of the personal issues that I do have, so long as an aspect has been presented so well, trust you me, I can be able to consider so many things. So when we say about impression, what are we looking at? This theory part, you're given a question, as we are saying advantages of technology, say in terms. One student will start by giving paragraphs. The other student will give in pointer form. There is student who will say talk about what? Maybe efficiency. Then under efficiency, I'm going to give all items relating to efficiency. Then after that, of course, the other person will talk about flexibility. Under flexibility, I give all the stories that I need to give under flexibility. This is one type of student. There is another student who will want to start giving in paragraph form. Trust you me, even if at all you've attended classes for the whole semester and you're giving me your answers in paragraph, if at all a question was allocated 8 marks, I'll be sincere and be very frank with you. The maximum you can get probably is 2 or 4 marks. If at all you go far, it's 4 marks. Why? Because what you're doing, you are telling me as a marker to try and look at the solution in your paragraph. Literally, that is what you're communicating to me. That, you know what, you marker, go and look at my point in this paragraph. Who was that time? Who was that time? You don't have that time. The best way to always answer your questions would be in pointer forms. Say, give me efficiency. Under efficiency, give your stories. The main point has already been seen. Give me flexibility. The main point has already been seen. So even if this question was allocated 8 marks, there's a very high chance that I've seen this student, this person knows what she's doing. So the main points have already been seen. If at all I go to the first point, the explanation of that, the second point, already you are telling me, there's that impression that you've created on me that you know what you're doing. And if at all it was allocated 8 marks, you might end up getting 6 or even 7 out of 8, regardless of the explanation that you've given me there. So long as the main pointer has been seen. Compared to this other student who will want now to do what? To give answers in paragraph. And the reason why you'd be like, you're having a theory, you're like, nini mbaya na hii theory? Why am I not passing this theory now for the 3rd time? Probably for the 4th time. That is a mistake that you might be doing unconsciously. Out of exam room, you're like, your paper imekuwa so good. That paper has been very fair. Alafu results ikikuja, unasema ni nini imefanyika. These are some of the mistakes that probably you might have done unconsciously in an exam. So always try to avoid answering in paragraph and adopt answering in pointer forms. Whether you're asked discuss, whether you're asked explain, whether you're asked state. If at all it is discuss, give the pointer be seen, explain the part or that pointer that you've given. If at all you're told explain, give the main pointer first, explain. If at all you're told to state, now just state the points given. So in that case, we find that you might end up scooping a lot of points in relation to that. So kindly let us approach that paper theory with that strategy. You're going to thank Mwalimu later. You're going to thank Mwalimu later. So that is about the theory parts. Higher. Let us talk about quantitative papers. For quantitative papers, again, all about what? Impression. All about impression. Say, for example, you're handling like a management accounting question, yeah? Maybe you're doing a main there, you're asked about probably, maybe you're dealing with CVP. So CVP analysis being asked a question for break-even, determine the break-even for this and this and this. An example. On your end, you just want to start calculating some figures. Where are these figures coming from? As much as they are in the question. In this case, you're telling me that you're just scrabbling some things. See, so what is the best strategy on the quantitative? You said these are QA, MA, talk about FM, talk about advanced FM, advanced MA. Your ask of CVP. The goal here is to create a good impression to the person who is having your paper. So if I'm asked to compute break even, it won't cost you anything. If at all, you write break-even point formula on how to determine break-even. You talk about fixed cost divide by contribution margin. Okay, the student knows what he's doing. Then you come and do a summary for me. Fixed cost, indicate fixed cost there. Contribution margin is selling price per unit minus variable cost per unit. Show me the selling price, show me the variable cost. You know what you are feeding me as a person who is marking your paper, you are feeding me with a very, very kind of a very nice ingredient, if at all you can say, because I'd be like, this student knows what he or she is doing. Even if I was to overlook, I might end up overlooking a lot of things, so long as this impression is there. And just like that, you've always wondered, why is it that this student who is studying for 1 month and this other student who has been doing the course for the whole semester, doing the same paper, the person who has prepared for only 1 month is going to pass the paper, while you've been there for the whole semester, things are not going okay? The reason is strategy. These are professional paper strategy. And among the strategy is always about impression. CVP say, like they will tell you about break even, give the formula, give the variables. The same case with maybe you're doing FM. You're asked to compute the NPV of a particular project. Come and show me, or using NPV to advise the company whether they should invest in a project or not. Come and show me that you know how to go about this. NPV, tell me that I'm talking about present value of cash inflows. I less my initial cost. Already there's an impression that you're creating. These are the statement papers, and in this case, these are the quantitative papers. And in this case, there's no way that you're going to fail that paper if at all you answer all the questions. That is a good strategy to use when it comes to the quantitative papers. Let us go to the statement papers. I'll just go through very fast because the session is supposed to be like around 30 minutes or so. So what about the statement papers? The statement papers, here we are talking about FR. We read about, talk about public finance taxation, talk about advanced tax, talk about advanced FR. These are the easiest paper to pass. Why? I want to give you an assignment. You see on this theory paper, or on this statement papers, FR, advanced FR, tax, advanced taxation, financial accounting. Try to do this for Molimu and just do that analysis. Pick a paper, you're asked maybe to prepare income statement or consolidated income statement, or maybe you're asked to prepare, say, like SFP. So maybe you're told to prepare maybe a statement, a taxable income of a particular company. My good students, and this has always been the case. Not unless it changes this December, but this has always been the case. It has always been like that. Each and every statement paper, if a question is allocated 15 marks, you'll always be having at least 9 marks for free. At least 9 marks for free. Why am I saying that these are free marks? Because so long as you're good with the format, you cannot pass the statement papers if at all you're not good with the format. And this specifically, I'm talking about for exams purposes. You're given financial reporting. You're given taxation. The best way out, we are remaining with 3 weeks. Do whatever that you can do to master the formats right. If you master the formats, as I've said, if a question is out of 15, you have 9 free marks, direct entries. Even if at all it is a working that you're going to do without much struggle. See, so like these are direct entries you put. Where you need workings, or your channel nayo, yeah? Go to the next question. It's not a must that question must balance. The beauty part is that in this case, when it comes to marking the exams, at times the final, not the final results, but the total are not marked. These are the entries for statement papers. So make sure that you maximize on the direct entries. If a question out of 15 you get 10, then you get another question, another 10. Like that. You'll find that you'll have saved a lot of time. Rather than, and that will come to the question that Dorothy was asking, rather than you trying to spend like 2 hours or maybe 1 full hour in one question. Alafu hapo, the supervisor anasema 1 hour remaining. The moment supervisor has said 1 hour remaining, alafu ile jasho ya mapua, yeah, the dotted sweats, yeah. Anytime ukiona hiyo sweat kwa mapua imetoka hapa, kuisha. Yeah, those dotted sweats zinatoka kwa mapua hapa. Wewe kuisha. Yeah. I don't know mali zinatoka. Even if at all the room is very cold, you'll just see some drops of sweat in front of your nose. Yeah. That hizo jasho zikianza kutoka, that is a sign that things are not okay. Yeah, that's a sign that things are not okay. So all Mwalimu is trying to say here is that the statement papers, kindly, for the sake of exams, maximize on the direct entries. Maximize on the direct entries. You're going to, out of whatever has been given, you're going to scoop so many marks without doing even a single serious working. Because the only enemy in this exam is time. Now I'll go to the question that Dorothy was asking about. You're given 3 hours. You're required to do all these questions within 3 hours. These 3 hours is very enough. 3 hours that you're given, this is a very standard time, a very good standard time whereby you can do all the questions. How? Dorothy, this was your question, and the rest also probably had the same question. This is what you're supposed to do. I'll give you a secret. I've always given, for those who have been attending my classes, I've always shared this secret with you. The secret is you're having a paper, okay? The first thing, as we always say, like, you need to pray. First of all, you just have to pray, right? You're praying to God so that at this point, all the tension and all the anxiety, whatever that the elder, the village elder is sitting there to say, should just evaporate, right? So you pray. Then prayers won't take you even 5 minutes. Go to the question. The best strategy, this applies to all the 3 forms of papers: statement, quantitative, talk about theory. Get a question, scrabble there. Maybe they have asked, say, like, of course, they always be theory. They have asked, say, like, maybe give advantages or state. Try to scrabble on top. Try to scrabble on top before uanze kuangalia juu kwa ceiling board. See, before uanze kuangalia juu kwa ceiling board, you try to scrabble. Like, okay, this is what they have asked, advantages, describe. You try to scrabble some points just within that paper. Go where they require formulas, just try to come up with the formulas. You're just scrabbling. Take like 15 minutes or 10 minutes to go through all the questions. You've taken 10 good minutes. That is not wasting time. You know, you're going through these questions as you're scrabbling. This will save you a lot of time to look at the skies, to look at the ceiling board. So that once you're going through all the 5 papers, try fetch the best question that you think you can do. Avoid question number 1. Avoid question number 1. Okay, at times it will always be very fair, but the design has always been question number 1. Of course, you're going to look at a question. All the questions, question number 1, they are always designed in a way. We have A, B, C, and at times D. Okay, question 1A, you're going to be given 2 marks. And it's something that you know very well. You'll be like, and you this time, Mungu ameniona, right? God has heard my prayers. So question number 1A, 2 marks. Something that you know very well. something that you know very well. Part B, another 2 marks. Something that you know very well, unasema inshallah, hii paper this time Mungu ananionekania. Ukikuja part 3 or part C of the question, you are like, okay, I know this question, yes, but it needs a lot of workings. You're going to spend a lot of time. You're going to spend a lot of time trying to solve this question without realizing 1 hour has already gone. So the best strategy, of course, anyway, I'm not saying that all questions one will always be like that, but majority are always like that. So just be very keen. But that has always been with the design. Just be very keen. Like if at all question number 1 is your favorite, start with it, right? But always make sure that you've gone first of all through all the questions, because there's nothing so kind of demoralizing like after you're done with almost all the papers, all the questions, then the examiner has said like you're remaining with 1 hour or 45 minutes. Then question number 4 was the easiest one. The other questions have harassed you. Question number 4 now is the easiest one. Then you are like, unaanza kushika kichwa, nilifanya nini? So the best thing will always be, go through first of all the questions, pick the best question that you feel, I'm very comfortable with this. That is after doing all your scrabbles. How will you know that that question is the best one that you can do? Through the scrabbling, you'll see a question that has a lot of points that you've given out. Kindly start with that question. Already, the question that you're going to start with, it is taking us back to the impression. It is taking us back to the impression. The moment I start marking your paper, the first question will literally tell me the type of student that you are. So all through the marking, I'll be having the impression that I've gotten on the first question. So try that one out and it will always work. So Dorothy, in terms of saving the time, through scrabbling, identify the best question you start with. For statement papers, leave alone the complex workings. For the purpose of passing the exams, leave alone the complex workings. Do all the entries, maximize on the theory part. That should take me to the second last segment, which is the theory part, even in this computation. Never ignore theory. Why? If you are keen enough, nowadays, the way papers are being set, you realize that out of, say, like 100, 30%, at times stats might even come up to 50% theory. And you're so concentrated on the computation parts, you might end up losing the theory marks. So always never ignore the theory. Through your revision, of course, I'll guide you on how you're going to balance this as we progress. So try to utilize on the theory. Have that balance. It will help you a lot. And our case, I think they have been shared. I've seen them. I don't know how you guys normally get this content. You find you share a content in a group of a class, the content is all over, right? But anyway, we have a very good theory Q&A. All those who have attended, you can request. We can literally share for you guys for free. Theory, question, and answers only. Because the theory, to be frank, it is always a repetition. They'll always tend to recycle these questions. So the strategy would be, look at the question, get the thought process on how the questions have been answered, so that it will give you a strength on how you can answer this theory part. So I'm insisting, try as much as possible to always balance the theory and the computation part. So if you use this strategy, I'm very sure it will help a lot. Higher. This question that majority had asked, or even before I go to this question that majority were asking, I need a question. Up to that point, before we go to the second, before we go to this other area that you should be very good at, I need a question. Kindly unmute. I've given you that chance. Unmute, ask Mwalimu question. This is the best time that you can have. This is the best time that you can have. This is the best time that you can have. So maybe going through I don't have my glasses here, but it's okay. Any question that you want to ask, kindly, this is the best time you can ask.
Hello, sir.
Hello, madam.
One by one, we start by who? Joey. Yes, Joey.
Mwalimu, I have a question. This goes to the quantitative part.
Yes, please.
Most of the FM paper, I've seen most of the people, I think I'll cut it across. Most of the people are asking about how is it marked?
Okay. Good.
Thank you, sir.
Joey, great. Joey has asked how do we mark FM? Great. Marking that. Any other? I'm going to address that right now. Another question?
Hello, mwalimu.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I wanted to ask where on the part of LM and advanced audit and assurance. When it comes to these case study questions, how do we do we state them first, then no? Do we state the points first, then we explain the points, the case study questions?
Okay. Case study question. I am going to address that right now. So you have case study, FM. Any other question? Any other question? You can take 4 questions, 2 remaining. You have 2 chances. Kindly you can just unmute. Joey, you have any other question? Any other question? Who has a question? Kindly unmute. You can unmute and ask. Okay, so let me address this. Talk about FM. FM, these are quantitative paper, and this applies to all the quantitative papers. FM, specifically talking about FM, FM is a very interesting paper, but also very slippery if at all your presentation and aspect of what you've given. Say, for example, like let us talk about you're handling a question you're given a question, say, for like a WCC. Say, and this is always the trickiest part for FM. Not tricky, but that is complex. Tricky because probably students don't have a knowledge of that or a concept of the same. How FM has been designed, say you're asked of WCC, you have part A of the question, part B of the question, part C, and part D. Before I reach to WCC, there are these components. You'll be asked, say, like cost of capital, cost of equity, you work out cost of preferred shares, maybe you work out, say, like talk about cost of debt. So the biggest mistake, the reason why FM has always been slippery to so many students, the biggest mistake would be they want WCC. In this case, you're starting from the cost of equity. The moment cost of equity is wrong, up to WCC, won't even consider. The only mark that you're going to get there is literally on if at all you've given a formula. Because at this point, we want to calculate WCC. That is to say, cost of equity must be correct. Cost of preferred shares must be correct. Cost of debt must be correct. So the moment you miss, say, like cost of equity and cost of preferred shares, that is to say, even WCC will not be correct. So if you get a lenient marker, if at all you get a lenient marker, and also depending on how you presented your work, you'll find that if WCC was out of 10 marks, you've not managed to get cost of equity, cost of debt right, meaning that, and you're having a formula you presented. Say, I know for WCC, I need to have the weight of equity, cost of debt, weight of debt, cost of preferred shares, weight of preferred shares. A lenient marker will give you 2 marks on the aspect of what? The formula. Then you get, say, like cost of debt right, cost of equity wrong, cost of preference shares wrong. A lenient marker will give you another 1 mark or maybe 2 marks on that cost of equity. So out of 10, you might end up getting 4 marks. If at all you get another marker who is not lenient, in this case, and that is how now it's supposed to be. If at all cost of equity is strong, you know, like this is not like tax or referral. If at all cost of equity is strong, cost of debt is strong, then why should I look at even WCC? That is literally aspect of not correct. And so the best way for FM, that is how FM they always tend to mark, by the way. So FM, this applies to even advanced FM, both FM and advanced FM. I've always told this to my students, those who have been attending my classes as well, that for you to pass FM, both at advanced and intermediate, there's no way that you're going to pass FM, number one, without the heart of FM. What is the heart of FM? The heart of FM, we read about the time value of money. Show me a paper of financial management or advanced financial management that has missed you being asked the present value of present value factor, interest factor annuity, or interest factor lump sum. Show me that one paper that has missed this concept of present value. That is number one, the heart of financial management, either in advanced or in FM intermediate. The other case, let us talk about the brain or even the eye of financial management. There is concept of valuation. Do you know how to go about maybe to calculate the intrinsic value of maybe shares, that is ordinary, preference, or even debentures? Valuation concept of finance, you must dive with that. The other area, if at all now we talk of the kidney, yeah, or even say like the kidney of financial management, there is concept that we might refer to as what? Capital structure. Capital structure. Do all that you can do. You see, like, why is capital structure so important? For those who are in advanced financial management, I know we read about the aspect of advanced financing decisions. Yeah, there is area where you'll be required to calculate WCC. This area where you'll be required to calculate WCC. All these areas, fundamental knowledge is on the cost or rather capital structure. Do you know how to go about cost of equity? Do you know how to go about cost of debt? Kufanayo, capital structure. The other element of financial reporting, this is now the backbone, both in advanced level and in intermediate level. We talk about what? Capital budgeting decision. Capital budgeting decision, this is where we have what? NPV. This is where we have what? IRR. This is where we have what? Profitability index. This is where we have what? Kina payback period and the aspect of accounting rate of return. So if you can perfect on these areas, and that is why if even FM in marking, like if I told you to talk about even the aspect of NPV, for example, say NPV, if you get the present value of cash flows wrong, meaning that eventually the final answer will be wrong. So these are the areas that you must be perfect on, not good. You must be perfect on these areas. We talk about regardless whether you are in advanced or whether you are in intermediate. We are talking about time value, valuation, capital structure, capital budgeting. Be very good on these 4 areas, because these are areas that will always be affected when it comes to marking. If you get part A wrong, definitely part B will not be wrong, because you find that the solution in A will give you what you're going to use in B. What you're going to use in C will depend on what you've gotten in B. So if A is wrong, B will be wrong, C will be wrong, and eventually final answer will be wrong. So for FM, that is always how they always tend to mark, depending with what you've given the first case. So be perfect on those 4 areas that Mwalimu was listed. You'll never regret in FM. And now come balance with what? Kina portfolio. You never miss FM. You never miss FM. So I believe that has been addressed. Haya, tukuje hapa kwa L&M and auditing and assurance. L&M, I normally call it SALGA. Yeah, to be very precise. I think some of us have asked, majority of us that question. Okay, good. So LM, I normally call it SALGA. Do you guys normally know what normally happens in SALGA? Yeah? SALGA. Yeah? Ajali after ajali. Accidents after accidents. Why? The mistake is always on the case study. You've been told, or rather you're given a case study. Say like Mdarasa Limited has this and this, or the manager of Mdarasa Limited was doing this and this and this. These are cases that you're given. Now, the mistake that a lot of students normally tend to do unconsciously, you want to answer a case study. See, they have told us maybe to give the characteristics of manager X in Mdarasa Limited, or characteristics of a good leader. So in this case, you are answering a question without quoting Mdarasa, without quoting the company that you're given in that case study. Let me talk about that. You'll be answering your own questions. You'll be answering your own questions. And you're told to give characteristics of a good leader as demonstrated in the case above. The case maybe was that Mdarasa, let's talk about X Limited. You are talking about, okay, a good leader should be visionary. And in this case, you are answering without quoting the case study. Then you are not answering the case study question. You are answering your own question. You are answering your own question. You're not answering the case study. And that is part where leadership is always very, very slippery. If at all, I think there's a video that I've done, though I've not published it on YouTube. This is a video that I've done in our blog revision, whereby, in this case, I've guided you guys on the best way, like, to go about case study. So part of what I mentioned on that video was about this, whereby a lot of students, they normally tend to answer case studies, but they are not answering case study. Why am I saying they are not answering the case study? Because whatever solution that they are giving, both in auditing and L&M, they are not literally quoting the company that the case study is talking about. So if at all out of 40, and maybe you've quoted this company on your answers only twice, meaning that you've only given 2 solutions to the case study. So even if at all it was out of 40, depending on the person who is having your paper, you've given your answer without quoting. Ideally, how it's supposed to be, you're not supposed to get even a mark. You're not supposed to get even a mark. So depending on the person who is having your paper, maybe just because you've wasted your ink, yeah? Because you wasted your ink, yeah? So out of 40, they do not quote it anywhere. You don't quote it anywhere, the name of the company anywhere. The person might decide to give you 5 or even 10 out of 40, just to be lenient, because, okay, you've literally tried. You've given the right solution, but you're not answering the case study. You're not answering the case study question. You're literally answering your own questions. So the best way to scope or to maximize on the solutions of the case study, kindly try to be muted if at all you're not asking a question. you'll find that the best way to always maximize the case study part is that while giving your answers, try as much as possible in that tension that you are in that anxiety that you are in, try as much as possible to quote the case, the name of the company given the case study. That is a secret weapon to answer case study questions. So that is how you're supposed to go about what? About case study. So these are the two questions that were asked. I believe Mwalimu has answered and he has given us the tips and clue on how to go about the same. Any question regarding this before we go to the final part? I wish we could be having time. I could have guided us on so many things, but wrapping it up before we go to the next final element. Any question up to that point? Any other question where you feel like this is the best time, right? Probably you'll never get this opportunity again. Any other question before we jump to the next bit? Someone is asking a question.
Yes. Okay, I'm asking a question.
Yes, Rose.
Okay, Rose. I'm asking. Can you please come up again on the topic to be perfect on advanced FM? I joined later a bit. Sorry.
Okay, so okay, for both FM and advanced FM, we say like the areas that you should be very good at. That is just make sure you're good on the concept of TVM. TVM, remember, is on the basic FM. TVM is time value of money, is on the basic FM. So just be very good on the TVM. This will also affect you in advanced FM as well. Be very good on the aspect of valuation. Be very good on the aspect of capital structure. Be very good on aspect of what? On the aspect of capital budgeting. Now, because you've asked specifically for advanced FM, this is always the secret of advanced FM. The first four topics, actually not four, but five, because there is an element of mergers and acquisition as well. The first 5 topics in advanced FM, wewe kufa na the first 5 topics. Do what this is specifically for advanced financial management. Wewe kufa na the first 5 topics. Then supplement that with the theory part. You're literally good to go. Whether your village people, they have done whatever that they have done, if at all you're good on these first 5 topics in FM, in that case, you will be very, very good to go if you supplement it with what? With the theory part. That is, of course, after being good with these basic areas that Mwalimu has mentioned. So, Rose, if at all you do that, then you're going to buy Mwalimu tea when the results are announced during end of December, right? So, this is what we should do. Now, you are like, Mwalimu, to be honest, mimi have been a victim on all that you've said. We are looking at precisely 3 weeks remaining. Some of you is when you want to start studying. So, what is the best strategy? Given the time factor. Given the time factor, what is the best strategy to go about the same? Okay, some of the strategies, of course, we shared on our block model papers. Like the way we normally tend to do our block model papers is that this is purely for revision, and I'm also going to give you the strategy on how to go about it. The way we normally tend to prepare our block model papers, of course, based on the experience that we have and based on the team that we have, right? Each and every sitting, we normally prepare specific revisions for a specific set. How do we do this? Number one, in each and every unit, there are these basic areas that you must be very good at. In each and every unit, there are the basic areas you must be very good at. So if at all you look at all our block model papers, you find that each and every paper has the basic parts that students should be very good at. Now, after that, there is specific areas. Concept, let me know about questions. Because I understand, yeah, there was an incident last semester that happened in 3 papers. So many things were said about Darasa having the leakages and so on, which we are just laughing, which we appreciated it because in this case, if at all it was there, right, Kasneb could have taken very rough action, yeah? It is just because how we normally tend to prepare the case. How do we do this? If you're doing your personal studies, you're not attending any class, or maybe you're attending classes wherever that you're attending. The best way to do your revisions with the limited time available, yeah? Take a question or take your syllabus, okay? Look at each and every chapter. What you need to do, go to the past papers. Identify only 2 questions. We read about the limited time available within these 3 weeks. Within these 3 weeks, use this strategy. Pick 2 questions in each and every topic. Whether you are in discussion groups or whether in this case you're doing it alone. Pick 2 questions in each and every topic. Try to solve these questions. Don't use revision kits, kindly. Try to solve this question, solving or finding the solutions on your notes. You'll find that handling these 2 questions, you might have gone through everything in that topic by just doing what? 2 questions. Whenever you find a challenge, don't go to the solution, kindly, whatever that you're having on your revision kit. No, use what? Use revision kit. You use your notes. Because to be sincere, you'll find that there's nowhere where Kasneb will get these questions from. From the past papers, part of, so that one, this time is limited. The sources are past papers, some questions in ACCA, some questions, of course, in a bit of, when it comes to finance, some question in CFA. What they normally tend to do, just do it, to change a question in terms of either doubling the numbers or maybe aspect of doing what, or maybe changing the names. But literally, these questions will always be repeated because concept is just the same. So the best strategy in all the questions that you're handling, try to go identify 2 questions in each and every topic. Do them thoroughly, referring to the notes, not the answers. Referring to the notes and not the answers. In this case, you'll find that you've been in a very, very good position to do what? To prepare so well within this remaining time available. There is other part for those students who are doing business data analytics. I think because of time, I'll set another session for purely business data analytics. But also for BDA, there's always a way out, whereby in this case you can and for BDA we've done something for you guys. I know there's that anyway it is a fact whereby it is anticipated that probably from next year majority of the papers will be computer based. Some are laughing that it is just multiple choices. Wewe. Remember on the multiple choices apata kuwa na marking ya workings or formulas. On multiple choice questions, if at all that is to be implemented, we don't have markings for formulas, we don't have markings for workings. So it is not as easy as what you guys are doing. And that's why we are doing a pilot. There's that we've some bit of artificial whereby we're doing a pilot in terms of we've tried to see how things be. A question? Yes? Someone is having a question? Kindly stay muted if you don't have a question. So we're saying that for this multiple choice question, it's not as easy as it is, or it's not as easy as people are looking at it. In this case, there's no marking for, there's no mark for formula, there's no mark for what? For workings. So as we prepare to this, and for those who are doing business data analytics, or one who is doing BDA, there's that platform that we prepared purely for assessment, whereby you go do assessment there. After you're done with the assessment, then in this case, you're going to be graded automatically. Being graded automatically, you're also going to be advised on areas that you didn't get it right. Of course, we are doing this, and you're going to apply this even for the written papers. So I think because of time, we need to go back to the office. You'll find that using the strategies, me, I'm 100% sure they'll help a lot. And for those who probably will also want to get our revision papers, in this case, it is so easy. Let me just take you through this very, very, very fast, whereby I want to start. Okay. So in this case, let me show you something very, very fast here. We have our learning management system, and this is what we provided for you. I'll just take you through very fast. Maybe for those who will be like, Molimu, then I would want to get these revisions. This is how you go about it, okay? So when you go to our platform, that is, of course, app.mdarasa.com, app.mdarasa.com, that is app.mdarasa.com. We have, of course, CPA. Let me just show you, because majority know your CPA. Just come search CPA, get started, start learning. So we have two areas here. We have the first area of coursework, and we have the second area of revisions. So where our block revision is, our block revision now, it is under the revision part here. You see, so we have the coursework and we have revision. Don't go to the coursework. Coursework is where you're going to get whatever that we've done for the whole semester, of course, including revisions. But for revisions only, you come to revisions. Say, for example, maybe what you're doing, what I was guiding you, like in this case, for example, maybe we have, say, like FM. FM, you'll find that this is what we've designed for you. Advanced financial management, for example. Advanced capital budgeting, there's that aspect of the main basic area. Then you handle what? Each and every area, like 3 questions, for you to get an understanding. Each and every question has its own mode. See, maybe you're doing, say, like, maybe talk about FM, also a different approach we've used. Say, for example, FM, you see? Again, we've used a different approach, whereby we have specific questions from the papers, then key areas. So in this case, if at all you manage to go through all these questions in the block model paper and the revision part, me, I'm not seeing any way that probably you might fail. In this case, you'll have increased your chances of you passing the same. As I've also said, we have the theory, what we can give you for those who have attended this session. We have the theory, question and answer that we have prepared very well. Kindly request us on our WhatsApp. This one is going to be shared for free. This one is going to be shared for free. Theory, Q&A. These are question and answers theory, which will help you to prepare on the theory. So because of time, I know I've not talked about BDA. Because of time, I think we'll set another session for BDA. And also, I've not talked about company law. Company law is also a disaster right now in terms of CPA. We'll also say that for another time and our discussion. So as we are concluding, I need a question, probably a comment. I need a question. I need just anything that you wish to ask Mwalimu, either regarding what you're doing or Kasneb or any general question in account. The floor is open, guys.
Can I start with asking the question?
Yes, please. Rose?
Still Rose. Okay. I don't know whether you already shared on advanced management accounting and advanced FR.
Mm-hmm.
Have you shared it already?
Yeah, I've shared it because Advanced MA, advanced MA, these are quantitative papers. I've guided now to go about quantitative papers. Advanced FR is a statement paper. I've shared on how to go about the statement paper in general. So of course, you can always have a session whereby I'll be talking about specific areas, probably on weekend, because there's a request for MA. On weekend, MA, I'll be having a session for MA for everyone who will be willing to attend, and also for FR, which I'll be guiding on specific areas. So ideally, I've covered them rows and the basic concept of how to go about quantitative papers and how to go about the statement papers.
Thank you very much, sir. So good. I'm from RCM. God bless.
Great. Thank you so much. Guys, any question? Before Mwalimu wishes us a very good day ahead. Any question?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please, go ahead. Joey?
Kuna mtu amelia hapa ni watu wamuulizie swali, naona amekuwa assumed. Let me just ask on his behalf.
That's on chat, or?
On chat.
That's why I mentioned kindly, if I told you what a question, ask on chat, because I think I'd mentioned that. Maybe it was not in. On chat, nor unless I try, check it out.
So the guy is saying that the guy is asking,
yes, please.
If I get stuck on some questions, like part 1, part B, and part C of question 1, is it better to leave them blank and come back later after finishing the rest, or wait until others have completed and then I do for the last page? That is the question.
Okay, great. Yeah, thanks for that. Actually, you can, Joey, you'll tell us all the questions that have been asked on the chat. So in this case, as I've said, or others had said earlier on, start with a question that you think you can earn as many points as possible. So the person, maybe you started with question A, question B, then you want to leave question C to come on it later on. I will advise against using that strategy. Why? Because as much as you're leaving that blank area going to another question, what you realize is that by the time you're coming back probably to that question, time has already gone. And there's nothing so kind of it is going to create a very bad impression to the marker, you leaving a blank area. So doing that, what is the best strategy? The best strategy would be, if at all you're handling question A, you handle question B, question C, maybe you feel like it is not adding up at that time. If at all it is a statement paper, or maybe you're having a question or a difficulty in the working, you prepare what you can prepare on that specific area, then go to the next question. Prepare what you can prepare. Don't leave it blank, because it is not like it is purely blank. You prepare what you can prepare, then go to the next, question. But don't go to the next question before completing what you're doing. Even if at all it is just showing some formulas, or rather the format, just show that before you go to the next question. Don't be in that temptation or say like, I'll be going back to that question. Avoid that. Time will elapse and you wouldn't have cleared that question. You're going to leave it blank, which is not a good show in the eyes of the person who's having your paper. So I believe that question has been answered. Sorry, I haven't ignored you. Only that I'd said, if I told you having a question, you're on mute, because if I told you asked on chat, there's a very high chance I'm not going to see that. That is what I mentioned when I started. So that question, I believe, has been answered. What is the next question on chat, kindly?
I have a question. How much do you charge for block revision?
Block revision is only 2,000 shillings. Only 2,000 shillings. These are video classes. We've covered video classes and key areas in relation to that, plus some tips that we've given further. But then come to think of it, I don't know how you're going to prove that you've attended this class, or rather this session. For those who have managed to attend this session, I'll talk with the team. For those who have attended this session, if possible, take a shot for you to prove that you attended this session. We're going to give you block instead of 2,000, we give you at 1,500. Only if you have proved you've attended this session. To prove, just take a shot of this meeting. When you request for a discount instead of 2K, we give you at 1,500. That will be very fair, at least also to encourage you. So that's what we charge. Kindly other question on the chat so that they should not feel kind of ignored.
Yeah, somebody was asking about the prediction.
So for predictions, what I can say is that predictions, it's not like what you're terming as predictions on our view. What I'm going to put it out is like what we normally tend to give are the concepts that we think might be tested. See, the concepts that we think might be tested. Like we cover the basic areas, then there is concepts, not questions. Yeah, don't get Mwalimu wrong. Concepts that we think might be tested. So these concepts, we've gathered them on the block model paper. So if I told you have that block model paper, you're going to go through the questions, and I'm very sure in each and every paper you're going to get at least the concepts based on our analysis, what we think might be tested. I'm really insisting on the concepts. So if I told you get the block model paper, it will cover that. That was another question, kindly.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Is there block revision for CIFA exams?
CIFA, we have for 3 papers. That is the aspect of intermediate, that is foundation. I think it is taxation and accounting. There's a revision for that. We have for portfolio management, that is the intermediate. We have only for 3 papers. Only for 3 papers. So portfolio, we have financial taxation and accounting. Then there is other paper that I have to confirm, but there are 3 papers that we have for CIFA. Only 3 papers. Only 3 papers for CIFA.
How can I get hold of it? Because I haven't seen it in the site.
In the site, let me just check on the team. Then I think it's going to be you're going to view it, because most of the blogs in our site were uploaded over all through the week from Monday. Tomorrow will be the last time for the upload. So if you check it out probably between today and tomorrow, I'm sure you're going to get what has been done for CIFA revisions on the site. As I'm saying, you go now here. Like, I think the icon has been prepared. If you go to CIFA, so on your end, CIFA, you just go to, of course, research CIFA part. Then you go under revisions here. So you'll find them under revisions. Either check it out today evening or tomorrow. Don't go to coursework, go to revision as I said. You're going to get them there. You're going to get them there. Great. Question on the chat, kindly. Joey, you are giving us questions on the chat. At least two more questions.
Most of them you've covered. Yeah, most of them you've covered. The last one was on that part of prediction, most of the advanced.
Okay, great. So in that case, we use the block model paper. It will help us a lot. So guys, really appreciate you attending this short forum. I believe you gained. Okay.
Let me just say,
One last question.
Mr. I'm going to do exams in April, and now that you've said all those who have attended this session will give a discount of 500. So you'll add me. I'm going to count for it between the revision classes for April. We start on.
You're doing exams. You're doing exams in April.
But I'm attending classes right now for advanced. Now, I will request to join your block release classes. That one for April exams. Now you'll give me a discount.
We'll talk about that when it comes at that point, Rose. Okay, definitely you're going to give you. Definitely you're going to give you. Definitely you're going to give you. Great. So guys, really appreciate you attending this. I wish you all the best. For those probably who are not attending our classes, you can try it out. I wish you all the best as you prepare within this remaining period of time. And as I've always said, right? Kasneb papers, these are just like any other papers. With the right strategy, everything will always tend to flow. Everything will always tend to flow. So thank you so much. Have a very wonderful week and wish you all the best in your preparation. See you on the other side. Bye-bye.